Hi, I'm Clara. What I'm about to share with you is a story of love, betrayal, and self discovery. It's a story that started like a fairy tale but ended with a shocking twist I never saw coming. It all began on a quiet Saturday afternoon. I was sitting in a cozy corner of my favorite coffee shop, trying to finish a book I'd been stuck on for weeks. That's when I noticed him. He walked in with an air of confidence, dressed in a crisp white shirt and jeans that looked perfectly tailored. His dark hair felt just right, and when he smiled, it felt like the room got brighter. I tried not to stare, but it was impossible not to notice him. To my surprise, he noticed me too. "Is this seat taken?" he asked, gesturing to the chair across from me. I hesitated, a little taken aback, but eventually nodded. "Go ahead." "Thanks, I'm Lucas," he said, extending a hand. "Clara," I replied, shaking his hand. Our conversation flowed effortlessly. He told me he worked in finance, loved traveling, and had just moved to the city. There was something magnetic about him, charming yet humble, like he was genuinely interested in getting to know me. By the time we finished our coffee, I was already hoping he'd ask to see me again, and he did. Lucas and I started seeing each other regularly. Every day it felt like something out of a movie. He took me to beautiful restaurants, planned surprise picnics in the park, and even taught me how to salsa dance in his living room. He always knew how to make me laugh and had a way of making me feel like I was the only person in the world. It didn't take long for me to fall for him completely. One evening, as we were watching the sunset by the lake, he turned to me and said, "Clara, I've never felt this way about anyone before. You're incredible." My heart soared. "I feel the same way," I said softly. Perfect as everything seemed, there were small moments that didn't quite add up. For starters, Lucas was always vague about his job. When I asked him about his work, he'd say things like, "Oh, it's just numbers and spreadsheets. Nothing exciting." He never mentioned colleagues or specific projects, which felt strange for someone who claimed to be in finance. He also seemed to avoid introducing me to his friends. When I brought it up, he'd laugh and say, "You're too good for my rowdy group. One day I'll let you meet them." But the biggest red flag was his phone. He was always protective of it, keeping it on silent and flipping it face down whenever we were together. Once I jokingly tried to grab it to take a selfie, and he immediately tensed up. "Sorry, work stuff," he said, taking it back quickly. I tried to brush off my doubts. After all, Lucas was perfect in so many other ways. But something in my gut told me there was more to his story. The warning signs, the stranger. One day, I was walking out of the coffee shop where we first met when a woman approached me. She looked nervous, almost hesitant to speak. "Excuse me," she said, her voice shaky. "Are you Clara?" "Yes," I replied cautiously. "I need to talk to you about Lucas," she said, her tone serious. "It's important." My stomach dropped. "What about him?" She hesitated before saying, "He is not who you think he is. Please be careful." Before I could ask her anything else, she walked away, leaving me confused and shaken. The discovery is double life. That night, I couldn't get the woman's words out of my head. Determined to find out the truth, I decided to do some digging. I searched Lucas' name online, but found almost nothing. No social media profiles, no work information, nothing. Feeling uneasy, I checked the picture we'd taken together and realized he wasn't in any of them. Every time I'd taken a photo of us, he'd asked me not to post it, saying he was a private person. Then I did something I never thought I'd do. I snooped through his phone while he was in the shower. What I found left me breathless. There were dozens of messages from women, some flirty, some explicit. My heart sank as I scrolled through the conversations, each one proving that Lucas was far from the man I thought he was. But the biggest shock came when I found a picture of Lucas with a woman and 2 kids. The caption read "Family Day." When Lucas came out of the bathroom, I was sitting on the couch, holding his phone. "Clara," he said, his face pale. "I can explain." "Explain what?" I asked, my voice trembling. "That you're married? That you have kids? Or that you've been lying to me this whole time?" He sat down, burying his face in his hands. "It's not what you think," he said weakly. "Then tell me the truth," I demanded. Reluctantly, he admitted that he was married but claimed his relationship was complicated, and that he and his wife were on the verge of separating. He said he hadn't told me because he didn't want to lose me. "You didn't want to lose me?" I said, my voice rising. "Lucas, you never had me. You lied to me from the start." I ended things with Lucas that night. It wasn't easy. Despite everything, part of me still cared for him. But I knew I deserved better than lies and half-truths. In the weeks that followed, I went through a whirlwind of emotions: anger, sadness, betrayal. But I also found a strength I didn't know I had. I focused on myself, reconnecting with friends and hobbies I'd neglected. And slowly but surely, I began to heal. Looking back, I realized that Lucas taught me an important lesson. Love isn't just about chemistry or grand gestures. It's about honesty, trust, and being with someone who values you enough to be real. If you've ever had someone betray your trust, know that it's not the end. It's a chance to start fresh, stronger than before. What about you? Have you ever experienced a situation where someone wasn't who they seemed to be? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you overcame it. If you liked the story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. See you in next video.